let me see. Gotta check my audio levels. Oh, I stayed on the loading screen too long, so now things are acting funny. Because I was setting up to do the stream. Now everything's weird. I wonder what happens if I just hold on this startup menu. I need to check my own. All right, I'm gonna just check and see. Hang on. All right. Yeah, I think my audio is pretty good. I'm gonna stay on the start screen just for a little bit longer, just because I don't know if something's gonna happen if I just stay here. It's one of those games that might quit waiting for me. I just never start the game. No, it's looped back. All right. Well, if my audio is working, then I guess there's only one thing left to do. So, someone was like making jokes, and they said, "Oh, you're gonna go slay the princess." When I told them I was leaving to go slay the princess, they started making jokes. They said, "Oh, you're gonna slay the princess? Wear protection." Da 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 da. I said I'd send a video. Now it's time to send a video. So yeah, we'll do that. Oh, I should Chapter 1: The Hero and the Princess.
You're on a path in the woods.
All right.
And at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Princess, you say? Now, this is another good check I need to do. Just for my own sanity. There you go. Let me check it. Quit. Ah, it's one of those games. Alright, reset it. Reset everything. Because I accidentally closed the window. Alright, that works. I mean, now we get all of the stuff. This is a horror game. It's not intended for all audiences. Please visit our website. Full list of content warnings. Flickering lights, image effects, parallax effect on revocation that has caused motion sickness. If Either you can turn them off if they cause health issues. Whatever horrors you may find in these dark spaces, have heart and see them through. There are no premature endings, no wrong decisions. There are only fresh perspectives and new beginnings. This is a love story. New game. Time for a new game. We haven't touched this at all. Alright. Am I audible over the narrator? Uh-oh. I just realized my audio capture's broken. Oops. I broke my audio capture. A very professional stream we got going on here. I'm a professional. Look, you can look around a little bit. That's really cool.
You're here to slay her.
Am I?
If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Will it? Alright, so it needs to be more like a 5. Alright, I think I got my audio stuff sorted out almost. Explore the end of the world. I will stay silent and continue to the cabin.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further.
What warning?
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
Alright, my audio's good. I've checked my audio. That's the only problem about doing this stuff on your own. You gotta check all your audio, and there's no way of knowing for 100% sure if it's working the way it's supposed to. I've had times when I've checked, and even after checking, I go back to the VOD, and it's like, oh, your audio was incomprehensible. No one could hear what you were saying. And that just happens.
We're gonna go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
Says you.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
I doubt he does. Proceed to the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
I'll take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. Good. You're still listening to reason.
I'm just gonna go down the stairs without saying anything.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
See, this is a total bluff. There's nothing going on down here, okay? See, this just rotted away. She's been down here so long. I don't know how long she's been down here, but I mean, there's an open window. It's the woods, so there's probably rain. So yeah, we're all good. I like how the stars move.
She's
we go.
unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
All right. Slay the princess.
You lunge forward without a moment's hesitation. You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already sinking deep into her heart.
All right. Roll credits.
This is it, isn't it? I'm almost embarrassed. I should have seen that coming. But I have to wonder, do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
It's like she's convinced she can't die. Yes, even as she lays there dying, she entirely believes herself to be alive and well. But it's over, isn't it? She stopped breathing moments ago, that arrogant look still plastered on her face. But is it over? Really over?
Of course it is. She's dead.
Yes, exactly. It's over.
I killed her. She's dead.
With your work done,
All
you
right.
make your way back up the stairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. Why do I feel like we've done something terrible? You did kill someone. Greater good or not, something would be very wrong with you if you didn't feel at least a little bad. But it was for the greater good. One of these days that will sink in and help ease your guilty conscience.
All right, good. So yeah, that was Slay the Princess. Apparently, it's a really
But
good
that
game.
day isn't today.
But, I don't know why
Let's just
people
get
like
out
it
of
so
here.
much. I guess everyone's into it because it's really fast, really easy.
You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only, a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away. What happened? Everyone is fine. It's just that you and the cabin are now far away from them. Don't worry. You'll be safe here. This is good. Everyone is happy. You'll be happy.
Oh man. All right. Oh, okay.
I'm so glad you're keeping an open mind.
I'm just gonna go along with it.
This is what's best for everyone. Trust me.
Let's see what happens if we go along with it the first time
Time
around.
passes. You can't be sure if it's days, or months, or years, or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier. Psst. Hey. We're not just gonna stay here forever, right?
Didn't you hear the narrator? I'm happy. We're happy.
Are you really happy? Or is he just telling us that we are?
No, we're happy. I'm sure of it.
Really? Well, if you ever change your mind, just let me know, I guess. More happy time passes, though the word begins to lose its meaning. Time, that is, not happy. Happy still has plenty of meaning. Please, shake yourself out of it. We have to get out of here. The little voices, please, fall on deaf ears. Eventually you pass into a blissful state of pure existence. Though words like eventually and pass ceased to have any meaning to you long before that shift, you simply exist. Happy. Forever.
I did it. Game's over. We hit end credits. I played visual novels before. End credits means the game's over. There's no replayability in these things, so it's done. You know? That's just it. That's the end. Pretty good, 10-minute game. $10 or however much it was. I don't remember. I got it in a Steam sale. So yeah, I'm not an achievement hunter. There's like 97 achievements for messing with every single slider in the options menu. So explore. Oh yeah, return to main menu. Yeah, that was it. We slayed the princess. A good game. I slayed the princess. Now I can do the thing that I did. I don't think it works for live streams. Oh well. So, I have no clue what that was. I just heard something really loud. I don't know. Well, let me go check on something real quick. I just heard a loud noise. Alright, I don't know what's going on out there. I have no clue. I've dropped 271 frames. I don't know when that happened, though. They really should make it so I can do timestamped links on mobile. That would be way easier. I noticed a thing recently, which is I wasn't able to make a queue with more than 2 videos unless I was on video 2 of 2. Then I could start adding more videos, and that was just on my phone. Yeah. This person that I just sent the link to probably does not want to see this. All right, new game.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
I thought it would save the fact that I clicked auto.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Have you considered that maybe the only reason she's going to end the world is because she's locked up?
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock. Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up. And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation. Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that. It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything.
I don't know.
Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her.
I don't know. I'm thinking.
Are you
I'm just
serious?
gonna say no.
No, you have to do
I'm
it.
just gonna say no. Can't someone else do it?
Unfortunately, you're the only one who can pull this off. I don't make the rules. I wish I did, but I don't.
Hmm.
Then I guess we'll just have to
I'll
see
go
what
talk to her
happens.
first.
But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out. Then each and every one of us is doomed. So sure, go, talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
I'm gonna agree with you there. I'm gonna agree with this
Ignore
guy.
him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
I don't think you know what you're talking about. Let's go.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
I don't need it.
The door to the basement creaks open.
What's wrong with her
revealing a
finger?
staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
Just checking in.
You are? It's been so long since anyone's come down here. I was starting to think they'd forgotten about me.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
There used to be a chain there, too. What happened?
She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone?
You're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about.
I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. Do you think you can get me out of these chains?
I'll see what I can do.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake.
Am I?
You're doing the right thing.
Am I?
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Maybe there's some way to break the chains?
Maybe. We do have a knife.
Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance.
If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free.
True.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place.
Is someone else here?
Your shouts and pleas are met with silence.
That's not good.
I'll repeat myself once again. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
Okay, well, earlier I did the task, and I still couldn't leave, so someone's full of it here.
You try the door, but it's locked from the outside. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before...
Oh no!
Her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf.
I didn't know where this was going.
As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you. The clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now.
Or we could use it to free her.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
Save the princess.
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place. You cut into her flesh.
The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm.
Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit.
I didn't know that's where this was going.
She didn't so much as utter a sound.
Oh no.
Whole ordeal.
She didn't even feel it.
No, she didn't.
Oh man.
She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours,
blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you.
Let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it! Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive. The blade! Move the blade!
I'm resisting.
As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you
We're a goblin
doing?
or creature of some kind. You got claws.
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
Oh no!
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake. For her sake? Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
Alright.
I'm sorry!
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she? Apparently not, though it doesn't matter how sloppy her knife work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
I'm so sorry!
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks. It can't just end like this, right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Well, this is all your fault. Okay, you're the one that was like, "Oh, I'm gonna stab her in the back."
Woods. And at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
We're on chapter 2. I'm getting a terrible sense of deja vu.
A terrible sense of deja vu. No, you don't have that. This is the first time either of us have been here.
No, it's the third time.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Yes, he didn't approve of us last time, did he? If we're going to save our beloved, we'll have to be sneaky about it. Our beloved? Yes, you'll have to be very sneaky about your intentions if you're going to try and save the princess. Ah, so all of the cards are on the table. Then you should know that we and the princess are in love, and the four of us will be foiling any and all assassination attempts you've got in the works.
The four of us.
We'll see about that. Whatever you do, just be sure to ignore him specifically. It sounds like he's the sort who'd sacrifice the whole world for a peck on the cheek.
You're right about that, actually.
What can I say? A world without love is a world that isn't worth saving.
I dropped more frames and I was trying to figure out where they came from. I'm just gonna turn around and
Running
leave.
away? What are you doing? We have to save her.
Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
Listen. Yes, I know where I'm going.
I doubt that, but fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
I'm gonna leave again.
Really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies. Forever.
You know, in Wheel of Time, there's a spell, a type of magic that people use. And if you use it, it means that everyone dies forever. And it's actually a really big deal because in the Wheel of Time universe, everyone comes back from the dead over and over again. It's a loop. It's a wheel. And it goes on, one age turning into the next. And Balefire's evil, basically.
But fine. You turn around and trek back down the path you came.
Wait, something isn't right. Can you still hear me? You're supposed to wind up back at the cabin again. But everything is getting...
Ooh, I like that effect on the audio.
What's going on? Where are we? Oh, I don't like this one bit. There's not a single damsel in sight. Well done.
The world around you is unwound. Its physical matter replaced by a textured nothingness. It's quiet. There's a distant rumbling sound, a sound of many sounds. Undulations pulse louder as something other comes close. Feelers probe across the fabric of reality. Extremities find your consciousness and wrap themselves around it. You are no longer alone. Resistance. Fingers drag claws across the glass surface of your soul. Frustration. This vessel is full of you. I need something empty I can crawl inside of. I need something shaped like me. It's not a nightmare. Chapter 1 again.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her.
Again?
If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
I'm gonna turn around
Seriously?
and leave.
You're just going to turn around and leave?
The only thing that matters... Oh, here we go. I'm actually pretty okay with the world ending. I relish the coming of a new dawn beyond our own. Gonna go walk the opposite direction now.
There won't be a new dawn if the world ends. There'll just be nothing forever. Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to take part in it. Ignore that annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
All right, so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm going to go inside the cabin.
Great to hear. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do. Fortunately, she's only a princess, whereas you are a valiant and talented warrior. It'll be easy, so long as you stay focused. We can't just go through with this and listen to him. She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
All right, we're gonna go into the cabin. I'm gonna take the blade, but I'm gonna try and save her.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty. The blade is your implement.
All right, I'll take the blade.
You take the blade.
Enter the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost...
Don't let it fool you.
Oh, it's been so long since anyone's come down here. I was starting to think they'd forgotten about me.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something? Then why did you bring a knife with you? How about you drop it, and then we can chat?
She makes a compelling point. What if we just dropped the blade and talked? Look at her. It's not like she's a threat. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. But killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
We're gonna drop the knife.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her.
Excuse me.
Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
Hold on a sec. What's your name?
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her. You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't, well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting, right? She is. I'm sure of it.
There's people out there who think you're going to end the world. What do you have to say about that?
Don't just tell her that.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
No, and if I'm being honest, I'm more inclined to trust you than trust them.
Sooner or later, you'll understand that I have your best interests at heart. Hopefully sooner.
How sweet. Now be a pal and help me get out of here, would you? We could figure out how to deal with them after I'm free.
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go looking for it. I'm sure it's somewhere upstairs.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Any ideas besides cutting you out?
That would be fine. I can lose an arm.
She speaks with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here for long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out. Anything to finally be... You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. Is someone else here? You try the door, but it's locked from the outside. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done. Your shouts and pleas, I'll repeat myself once again.
All right.
You make your way back
Downstairs.
to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply easier for her, easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
Okay.
You won't
Look
like
away.
what happens if you do
We're gonna
that.
cut her arm off again.
Against your back, you cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and you make quick work of it. She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye. How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. As the princess... Wait, this isn't watch me. You bring the blade down and plunge it into the
I didn't mean
princess's back.
to.
Finally.
The narrator did it.
Okay. There's no going back now. Though the blade left a deep gash in her shoulder, she barely so much as flinches, turning around to stare at you incredulously.
Are you serious? I don't know what came over you, but if we're doing this, I guess I'll have to kill you. Do you think I need both of my arms to do that? I can beat you to death with one. But I don't have to tell you that. I'll go ahead and show you.
Thank you. You swing your arm towards her throat, the blade singing through the air. But she's ready for it. She grabs your arm, her grip like a stone vice. You drop the blade, pathetically. She lets go, and faster than you can react, rears back and hits you with a bone-shattering haymaker. There's a ringing in your ears. You're fairly certain you can feel bone grinding against bone where she fractured your jaw, but your body isn't allowing you to feel much right now, adrenaline coursing through your system and numbing your nerves. You fall to your knees. You're barely able to bring your trembling arms up to defend yourself before she hits you again. Every blow is as punishing as the first. You feel bones shatter with every impact, unknown ruptures blossoming with blood somewhere inside of you.
You poor thing. I'll go ahead and put you out of your misery.
She places a confident heel on your chest and pushes you down to the ground. Her knee falls to your throat, your windpipe crushed beneath a weight you didn't think her slight form could possibly possess. It can't just end like this, right? I'm sorry, but it's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Chapter 2. It's the tower, not the damsel.
You're on a path, and you're here to slay her.
Hasn't this happened already?
It hasn't. Or if it has, I certainly haven't been a part of it. We've just met for the first time, you and I.
He sounds different. He sounds like the voice of the smitten from before.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. What does it matter what he knows? There's nothing we can do to stop her. She's just going to kill us again. She is not going to kill you unless you let her, but slaying the princess and saving the world is going to be much more difficult than it has to be if you spend the whole time second-guessing yourself.
This is bizarre, but why should I bother doing anything?
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. Of course we died. She didn't feel pain. She didn't feel much of anything, did she? And she broke every bone in our body before she decided to let us die. What were we supposed to do to stop her then? What are we supposed to do to stop her now? It's pointless. She's just a princess. Slaying her shouldn't have been difficult, but congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. The princess killed us and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? If she ended the entire world, why should we even bother? We might as well just walk up to that cabin, break her chains and let her do whatever she wants. It's all the same in the end. Just because she's capable of ending the world doesn't mean you're not capable of slaying her. Both of those things can be true at the same time. So chin up. I believe in you.
Let's talk about the princess.
About it.
she's just a princess. Why was she... Ooh. Who locked her in that place? What is this place?
People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things.
Why was she strong enough to beat me to death with her bare hands?
She is just a princess. Whatever you think happened to you last time, just get it out of your head before you get to the cabin, and you'll be fine. Or we could pledge ourselves to her and stop pretending that we're capable of doing anything in this situation. She probably doesn't even need to try to overpower us. Can we tone down the pessimism just a smidge? I'm not being a pessimist. I'm just being realistic. You're being annoying. Just ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone, yourself included.
Alright, well, I think pledging myself to her would be a pretty good idea, because, you know, when I tried to save her, it didn't work out because this guy made me kill her. I mean, I could have warned her, but, you know, he still was the one in charge. You're being cagey. What aren't you telling me?
I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult.
I doubt that. I strongly doubt that.
Her, the better.
No, I doubt that. Doubt it.
Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps, but it's just the way things are. Oh, I didn't know we were special. Of course you're special. Why else would you be here?
Who cares if you think we're special? As far as I can tell, the only thing special about us is that we get to experience painfully dying all over again.
How can I make sure that doesn't happen
Like I
again?
said, if she killed you, it was probably because you didn't listen to me. Don't talk to her, don't trust her, just go in, do your job, and save the world.
But are we really saving the world? I don't think
Great.
so.
Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to...
Lying? Cheating? Why would she even bother? She didn't need to do anything like that last time. She caught us off guard last time. We'll be fine. Let's just keep our wits about us.
At least one of you still has a shred of sense. Just make sure you listen to him and not that whiner.
If that's what you want, I guess I don't have a say here.
The interior of the cabin is larger and more grandiose than its humble exterior would suggest. The only furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Why do we feel so small?
We don't feel small. We are small.
You didn't say anything about the mirror on the wall.
That's because there isn't a mirror. There's the altar, the blade sitting on the altar, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here.
But it's right there.
There's definitely a mirror. There isn't.
Who cares if there's a mirror? We're all going to die anyway. And I'm sure that if we looked in there, we'd just see something sad and miserable looking back at us. We don't need any reminders of what we are. It would only make things worse. For the last time, you're not going to die unless you let it happen. And luckily for you, there isn't a mirror, so no one needs to worry about confronting a grisly visage any time in the near future. Though, for what it's worth, if there were a mirror, I'm sure that you wouldn't find anything sad or miserable in it looking back at you. You probably look perfectly normal. Probably. Do you not know what we look like? He knows. He just doesn't have the heart to tell us.
I care about whether or not I'm being lied to. There is a mirror.
As do I. And yeah, there is.
I'm not lying to you. Use your eyes. There is no mirror. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would a mirror even do? Let you waste time preening yourself instead of doing what needs to be done.
This cabin is different than last time.
Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess.
Let's approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny.
Wipe the mirror
You
clean.
reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
We should count ourselves lucky. Some things are better left unseen. No blade this time. Yeah, maybe she'll be more receptive if we're unarmed. Blade, no blade, it doesn't matter.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a
Spiral.
spiral staircase. Its steps almost as deep as you are tall. The smell of incense drifts up from below. For a moment, you almost feel at ease.
This
Man.
is actually...
There's probably like
Nice.
a bunch of other chapters
Still
you can
so
find.
sweet. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
I know there's like 100 achievements for the game.
Stairs.
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
You weren't kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time.
You shouldn't have come down here unarmed.
We need to get down there. She wants us to see her. Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? Just a few minutes ago you were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go down there.
It doesn't matter what that little voice says. He's not the one making the decisions. Though if his ramblings get you to the princess, they get you to the princess.
No option to go back up and grab the knife.
Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end comes into view, and you tumble to the bottom, entering the vast, temple-like room beyond. The princess towers over you, almost glowing in the weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her, and a chain binds her wrist to the far wall.
The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told you it was pointless to resist her.
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants. I see your hands are empty. You've already given up, haven't you? You aren't even going to try and kill me. How sweet. And more than a little disappointing.
She's disappointed in us?
Kneel.
No.
But the words don't leave your mouth. Instead, your legs buckle and your knees hit the floor.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk? The last time we met, you told me I was destined to end the world. That thought wrapped itself around my heart. It has pulled at me since the moment I squeezed the life out of your broken lungs. I could feel its fundamental truth awaken me. The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new, and the world as it is now is overdue for alterations.
Her eyes are changed.
It's time for me to seize my destiny, and you, little bird, will help me seize it.
Uh-oh, I didn't sign up for this.
Well, that gives away the game, doesn't it? It certainly does. And beyond that, it more than lends credence to our conversation in the woods. I don't love the thought that in some other reality you failed to destroy her, but what's done is done. I can only hope it helped you learn a valuable lesson. You are the only one who can deal with her. And if you don't, well, she's let you know what will happen, hasn't she? Then you shouldn't have trusted us with her destruction. She is inevitable. Can't you feel it? He's being melodramatic, but he's not exactly wrong, is he? What are we supposed to do to stop her? Okay, first things first, you're going to have to stuff those pessimistic thoughts someplace far, far away and commit yourself to what needs to be done. The stakes of the situation should be perfectly clear to everyone now. And if you're going to save the world, you have to have faith that you can pull this off. You can't win a battle that you've already lost in your mind.
Know the limits of your privilege, little bird.
What happened after I died?
There's an empty place at my side for you to fill, if you'll have it. But it is not a place for an equal. It is a place for something worthy to be kept. A priest, perhaps, or a pet.
What would you have me do?
All you have to do is break these chains and set me free. Your will was so easy.
I'll pledge myself to her.
Am I that magnificent? All you need to do now is break my chains.
If this is what you want, then I guess there's not much else for me to say. No, you can't just give in to her. Not when the stakes are so high. Not when you're so close. I won't let you do this.
There's still something in the way. A greasy film inside of you where it doesn't belong, trying to conceal you from me. Is that a person? No, it used to be a person. It's something different now. An echo.
Is she talking about you? That's impossible. She's not supposed to be able to interact with me.
You're a small one, aren't you?
Make sure. Okay, I didn't skip anything.
A shriveling little worm stretched beyond its limits, trying to control things that it can't understand.
No. What are you talking about?
I don't care what you are. You're mine.
Ah!
Rise, my little bird.
Without hesitation, you're brought to your feet.
Break my chains.
And how are we supposed to do that? We don't even have a... All you need to do is believe it's been done.
Ooh.
Her chains shatter, and the cuff falls from her wrist. She is loose, and the end is upon us.
I got Infinity vibes from this. Just believe it can be done, and it shall be done. Just will it into happening, and you can do anything.
What a good disciple you are. Come, it's time for us to leave.
I'll be talking about Infinity some other time, but that game is a lot of fun. Take your hand. But you do not take her hand. Something has taken her away, and it's left something else in her place.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
I don't know where she went. I don't know how we'd go about looking for her.
Right. She's gone. It's just us and that awful thing. I feel anxious. Does anyone else feel anxious?
The narrator's gone.
Does that mean the world ended? Figures the world would end and leave us with all this nothing.
I think I'm supposed to look at that mirror.
There's something dreadful about it. I don't think you should. I don't want to look at us.
Approach the
I'm
mirror.
begging you, don't do this.
The mirror never scared you before.
It's different now. It feels, I don't know, final.
Approach the mirror. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone, but the mirror remains. It's time for you to see what's in it. Hang on. There we go. Now I can actually see all of the text. Body. You are alone. Ooh. I don't know how well that's going to show up on this end, but this back part moves. That's so cool. It's supposed to be just emptiness and nothingness, but everything. There's even like a little bit in the foreground here and over here. Oh, it's so cool. There's layers upon layers upon layers. It's just waves. I wonder if it's supposed to be like hair. Proceed to the cabin. You are at the cabin. Approach her. You recognize the presence and ability. You recognize the presence inhabiting the shell. It is the entity that dwells in the spaces between.
Something returns to the long quiet. It has surrendered its path of annihilation and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
You're the thing that I met in that space outside of the woods, aren't you? Thought that was a dream.
Vague recollections, empty tunnels without a mouth. I am sorry if I frightened you.
What are you?
I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you?
I don't know what I am.
I think that you are like me. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks.
Gift of a fragile vessel.
Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own. This one is dominance, a figure capable of bending everything to her will. She will make for a terrifying and divine heart. Do not mourn her, for she would not be able to mourn you.
Is this the end of the world?
How can the world have ended if we are talking?
Do you know the narrator?
You are the only thing I have ever known. The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us.
Let her out of there.
I'm sorry. There are some changes that can never be undone. There are some tears that can never be unshed. This is not a place that can hold a fragment of a concept. The moment she arrived here, she was going to return to me. I promise that it doesn't hurt.
Are you what sent me to slay the princess? Are you what trapped me here?
I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free.
Do you know about the woods beyond this place?
I know only that they are.
Ah. Are you the princess?
She is part of me, and part of me is her.
Were you always the princess, or are you making her part of yourself?
You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
What happens now?
Nothing, as we are. But I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
How many more pieces of you do I have to find? Aren't you scared that I'll find a way to kill you?
I have not lived. I am not afraid to die.
How much will I forget?
Everything, until we meet again.
How many more pieces of you do I need to find?
More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home.
Oh, you know what this reminds me of? There's a game called Gnosia. Gnosia. And it's like a little murder mystery game. And you just do like arguments about who did the murder and who didn't do it. And it's kind of like what is it? Mafia or Burn the Witch. Whichever one. Where everyone has a role to play in there's different roles as you get more people. So someone can know for sure who everyone is. Someone can know for sure like who wasn't X or Y. And then there's one person that protects people from suffering a terrible fate. It just gets more and more complicated. I never finished Nausea. Another one that's similar to it's Raging Loop. Raging Loop, you go in circles where it's like your first time around you always die at this point, and then this next time around, next time around, next time around, next time around. Really fascinating. What if I don't let you do this?
Then we will be here forever, as we are now, unfinished, dry, hollow.
I was sent to slay the princess and stop her from destroying the world. If I help you, is that what you're going to do?
You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold.
Let it be. Make me forget.
She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
Everything goes dark and you die. Alright, chapter 1.
You're on a path.
I'm gonna save right here. That is a good spot to stop. That's the perfect spot to stop. That was fun. I had fun with that. I might play more of it in a bit. So, if you stayed around this long, thanks for watching.